And we're coming back to you live from the park. I'm Sean.
And I'm Zach.
Zach, man, bro.
Bro,
Dude.
it's been a minute, huh?
I don't even have words. It's been too long. It's been too long.
No, it hasn't been long enough. Oh, go rouse that again.
There's too much happening in my body right now.
The milk, it strikes again.
It's really striking. So Zach was sick for a week.
Yep.
And because of that, we will now take this opportunity to mock him.
Please do. I'm ready.
You're wearing jeans.
Yeah? So are you.
Shut up! I'll kill you.
The best part is you never wear jeans, but the one day you wear jeans.
So yeah, you missed the hike to Temp.
I heard some stories.
Bro, it was dope. It also sucked.
So which was it, Sean?
It was both. I could say night hiking is my entire vibe, man. Hiking up there was so dope. Just like silhouettes of the mountains all around, the stars above you, and then you can just see like little lights further like up the mountain, and you know you're going there because that's just other people walking.
Okay.
Man, it was just so good. It just felt so like, man, great. But Corby was dying.
I would have been right there with Corby.
Well, that's the thing. If you would come, then you two could have stopped together.
We could have died together.
Instead of me forcing Corby to almost the top and then him just freezing to death up there.
I heard it was very cold.
It was pretty cold. But, I mean, to be fair, Corby didn't... I brought, an extra jacket for myself and then, like, an emergency blanket, which I gave to Corby because all he brought was a thin jacket and nothing else.
Okay.
So... I would say he was less than prepared. I was all right. Like, it was cold, but, like, I expected it to be cold, so I brought clothes.
Okay, so here's the thing. If Sean said it was cold, for Zach, cold. That's like...
But it was fine.
No!
Like, I should have brought, like, another pair of pants. That was the one falling out. Because my two jackets were enough to keep me fine, but I was only wearing just, like, a pair of jeans, and, like, my legs were just rock solid.
They were popsicles.
Yeah, it was dope. But no, man, it was great. You would have died. Corby did die several times.
Wow. Poor guy.
But yeah, I don't know. I told Jacob at the end of it, because I'd been up for 24 hours and just hiked 14 miles as we were driving, as we got back to my house. I was like, I hate you. I was like, it won't be forever, but right now, I hate you. It'll probably be like a good week. So don't talk to me. You should not exist.
That is amazing.
Because I hate you. And he was like, well, same, man.
It was so funny. I was in Discord with Jacob.
Yeah.
I was like, so Jacob, how was the hike? He's like, did Sean tell you about it? I was like, no, I'm sick. How would you have told me about it? And so then Jacob told me all about it, and I made fun of him for going on a hike, and that was it.
I mean, now that it's been a couple of days, I thought it was great. I'd totally do that again.
The funny thing is, Jacob was saying, I will never doing that again.
Well, I mean, I have been running. I will say, I'm 100% certain that because I started running like a good 3 weeks ago, my endurance was way higher than it would have been.
Dude, you prepared.
Yeah, I actually did prepare. So I was fine pretty much the entire hike until the very end, because the last stretch of that hike is just psychological warfare. Let me explain this to you. The whole hike, you're like doing switchbacks, or you'll like hit a clearing. There's always like a change in scenery. So even when it was dark, like, I'm making progress. I can tell. The entire hike. That last stretch of to get back, not up, but down. The last stretch down, it's just a straight line for like a mile and a half, maybe.
Geez.
And it's just the same trees all around you.
Nothing changes.
And so every 2 steps, you're like, is that the parking lot? No, there's more trees. Is that the parking lot? And that goes on for like 40 minutes. And all four of us at the end of that hike were just dead silent. We were all so mad. Man, I was ready to kill.
Did you sing your hiking songs?
I sang some songs. I don't know.
You gotta sing hiking songs.
It's the hiking song. We are hiking. We are hiking up this mountain or other place, so that song can be used for other things.
That's my new jam. I'm going to need a recording of that, so next time I go hiking.
This is a recording of that.
But just that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Perfect.
10-hour loop.
So, I don't know if you heard, but we used to just do 10-hour challenges in Discord.
I have heard about
And
that.
we just see who would last the longest. Oh my
Who do you think would last longest with that song?
Oh, dude, that's my jam. I'd listen to it twice.
I just hate that it's so short. I have to keep hitting repeat on it. Oh man. So I have multiples of things that I could talk about.
Oh?
The issue is like the one that I really wanted to talk about sat for like 2 weeks as you were sick. I'm sorry. So now I'm not sure.
Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
All of these, maybe this will just be an episode where we just like really briefly hit like 3 different topics that have nothing to do with each other.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure how long we can go. They are like fairly deep topics. Anyways,
Hit me with the topic, Sean. Stop
talking.
talking. I meant about stupid things. You can speak about the real topic though.
I'm obedient. It's okay. Oh, is the milk gonna come? No, it's fine.
Do you need me to?
No, don't, please.
There you go. Got aroused.
Like a baby.
You shot just threw up all over me.
Freaking again.
When that happens.
Okay, so in my Psychology of Good and Evil textbook, which, is great, as you know, from the
Sean,
time we talked about...
textbooks are becoming like the new TED Talk. Don't you know?
It's great, as we know from the episode early on where we talked about why murder is justified.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This section was about hubris. Do you know what hubris means, Zach?
Hit me with your knowledge, Sean. Tell me your scientific definitions. We haven't had ASMR in forever.
I feel like we might have had a last episode.
It's been a week. The people need the ASMR. That's what they come here
Right,
for.
poor Allison. She's been complaining.
She's just like,
She keeps
really miss ASMR.
texting me and being like, why is there ASMR and Spicy Nugs these days? She doesn't even ask why we haven't uploaded. She asked why there's no ASMR.
She only listens to the ASMR parts. And she just like skips through the whole video, listens to it on repeat, and then all right, we're done. I don't care what else those dinguses say.
Okay, so hubris means like you think you're better than you are.
But what if I am just the best?
See, now this is going to be a great topic for you.
I can't be any better than I already am. I'm perfect.
You saying that puts you solidly in the basic category. Because you're just like everybody else.
Hot jokes on you. I have no self-esteem at all, nerd.
See, and now this topic will still be good for you. Okay, so they did a lot of different studies. I'll try to let me just summarize one of them that I can remember. Okay, so basically, like they went to like a college classroom. I think it was like a psych class. It was like a lecture. It was like a lecture hall or something like that. And they passed out a survey where they were like, "Hey, there's going to be this charity event."
Hey, scoot over. I'm scared. Thanks. I was saying this stupid thing. It was so annoying. Anyways,
there's going to be a charity event in a few weeks. I want you to tell us if you will donate and how much of the class you think will donate.
Oh, geez.
Right? So, alarmingly, And overwhelmingly, basically what it came down to was like 78% of people would say, I will donate. While the same person would also say only like 45% of the class will donate.
Dude, I would have guessed less.
Right. Well, I think, I can't remember the exact numbers. It could totally be less. And what the research found was most people were right about how many people in the class donated.
But
that also just means that a lot of people didn't donate.
So
who said they would. They thought they were better than they were. Because they did actually hold that charity event a few weeks later and just keep track of who donated and stuff like that, right? So the whole chapter was just about like how we as people tend to think we are better than we actually are, and they went into a lot of different areas about that. But and I'll try to tackle them as we move forward. But what I want to initially start with is, because like automatically you're like, oh, that's not a good thing.
Right.
But I also feel like, what is the difference between self-esteem and pride?
Ooh. So when you first said, I automatically, like, at first I don't think it's a good thing, right?
Right.
But I was like, I think I know where he's going with this.
Yeah.
It's like, because in a way, if you think you're better than you are, you're going to strive to do better things, right?
I don't know. Will you?
Or
it kind of depends. Because if you think you're better than you are, do you really need to strive?
You got a good point. And I mean, if you think you're better than you are, you just have this big ego, then it's like...
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Especially in psychology and like the kind of YouTube videos I get recommended and stuff like that, I hear a lot of like, positive energy. Like, they're like, hey, you should... There's like psychologists who will like, someone's depressed, like, you need to go look yourself in the mirror and say I love you 20 times every morning or some bull crap like that, and it's like, okay, fine. And there's people who actually practice that. There's people who wake up and look in the mirror and they're like, I'm the best, I can do anything, like, and they're super like positive like that, which is cool. But at the same time, like, what is the line exactly between self-confidence and pride? I've heard they're different. I don't know what the difference is, though.
So going back to that scale from a week ago, I think, it's so hard to give, like, an example. Maybe not an example, but, like, to draw a definite line. Because I think it could be at different points for different people. Because I think with self-confidence, it's like, that you're able to do something. I think, let's say this. You can be self-confident and humble. But if you're prideful...
You're not humble.
You're not humble about it. Maybe that's the difference.
Kind of what it comes down to for me, and what I kind of thought about was like love. Like, do you love yourself? I feel like that's kind of different, because you can, like, someone can do something and you're like, that was not good, but I still love you, right?
Okay.
So the same can reflect back on you. Like, I can do something wrong and still come back to, like, I can love myself despite that thing, right? There was a mistake and I can acknowledge that, but...
Right, you're like, I did something wrong, but, I'm better than that, I'll do better, right?
Yeah, so it makes me think, and what I kind of came down to with this whole hubris issue that the chapter brought up, was that hubris is actually kind of necessary, but there's a line there, or like you said, there's kind of a scale there where, like, you need to believe you're better than you are, otherwise you might just give up. But you can't just think you're the absolute best. You need to think there's somewhere to grow. You need to be able to recognize faults, and you need to get over like making excuses for yourself.
Maybe that's interesting, because for me it's like, maybe not I think I'm better than I am. It's I want to be better, and that's like what doesn't So like that's what stops me from giving up. Like I know I can be better. I want to be better.
Right.
Maybe I'm not there now, but if I keep working at it in the future, I will be.
I think that can be a good mindset as well. I think that can also lead to a self-defeating mindset at the same time. Although I think any of these can kind of, it can go any way with depending on the person.
True.
And that's the real issue with it. That's what makes it hard to talk about. Let me try to hit you up with some more, like, one of the other experiments that I thought was interesting in the chapter, okay?
Okay.
So they wanted to compare the studies of, like, hubris between collectivist versus individualistic societies.
Oh, that's actually really interesting.
Right? So they took, like, I think it was kids from America and then some kids from, I think, China, right?
Okay.
Where it's very much like, in America, it's like, you can become something great. And in
Very
China,
individualist.
Yeah, in China, it's like, you need to work for the greater whole.
Right.
Right. And they did a similar experiment where they said, hey, we're going to give you 10 pieces of candy. You get to decide how many, or let's say at the end of class, we'll give you 10 pieces of candy. How many will you give back to the class and how many will you keep for yourself? Right. So I believe, and I apologize because I don't remember that well, but like the individualistic kids were very much like, I will give like 80% of mine and just keep 20% or something like that, right? Versus the collectivist kids, which were a little less, but still above. They were like 50-60%. I'll give 60%, but keep 40.
I almost would have thought it'd be the other way around. That's interesting.
But when the actual results came in, the individualistic kids from America kept most of their candy. And the collectivist kids were more realistic, essentially. They still kept most of it, but they also were closer to what they said it would be. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
I'm trying to like see how I phrase this. I think it almost makes sense that happened.
Yeah.
Like, just from their, like, the way they've been raised, right?
Yeah.
Because with like here in the West, like with the individualistic approach, like everything's about us. And I think it's very rare that, especially as a kid, that you would think about like a greater good or a bigger goal. But so like I'm not surprised that those results happened.
Yeah.
Especially as kids, right? Like, it's candy. Who doesn't want candy?
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting that it was so flipped. 'Cause I feel like they would have just been more honest. Been like, yeah, I'll take like half the candy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think I was more extreme in what I was saying than what it actually was. But yeah, the concept is there at least. I don't know. So what I've come down to, at
Just
least,
for a heads up, I would have taken all the candy.
It's mine. What I've come down to
It's my candy.
is this. It's kind of what I was saying before, where I think an amount, or at least, at the very least, a love of yourself. And that love is unconditional. Just as you might feel love for like someone else, your child, I don't know really, but you know what I mean, right? An unconditional love where no matter what you do, you can still say like, I love myself. I also think some amount of hubris is okay, which doesn't sound great, but I feel like you need it.
Maybe it's necessary at times.
Yeah, because otherwise I would definitely become a very defeatist kind of person. I mean, I kind of already am, so I mean,
without it, it'd be over, man.
Yeah, I mean, you need something that's like, I am a good person.
Right.
Even if your actions don't always show that. And then you need an understanding of, like, okay, I didn't do as good as I could have there. And being able to, that, like you were talking about, that kind of, I can be better. You need I am good, but I can be better.
I can be better.
And I feel like there you're getting close to, or at least I would be getting close to, like, where a good place would be.
Okay. I'd agree with that. What do you think about hubris and entitlement? Because I think with like self-confidence, right? I think there's a line between when you're happy with who you are, you have confidence in yourself, but then it can get to a point where it's probably hubris at this point, where it's like, I deserve this because I'm so great, right?
Right.
I think that's definitely going too far.
I think your point before helps with that, where it's like, I can be better. Because at that point, there's the balance of, I am a good person, so you're not completely giving up on yourself.
Right.
But you're also keeping yourself from being like, I am the best person. Because you're clearly not.
Wow. Have you seen me?
But I mean, yeah, there's like that kind of, there's a barrier there where it's like, I can be better if I work, if I A, B, C, D, you know.
I think that's just a good mindset to have, because it keeps driving you forward, right?
I feel like it is. I wonder, I'm sure there's something I'm missing here.
I feel like
where there can be some kind of falling out here.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm interested to see what comes of that, but at the very least, this is something.
It's so hard. Like, the more I've gone to school, and especially in my ethics class right now, like, we're going over, like, this kind of stuff, like, all the time.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to, like, draw a line with anything.
Yeah. Because
it always comes down to circumstances and the situation. I don't know. But I do like the base that you set there of you, like, I'm a good person already, but I can be better.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It leaves some striving in there. I feel like that's good. And I feel like you missed the perfect place to end that, which was, I don't know.
And yeah, we don't know anything.
So as always, leave your comments on why we are wrong.
And tell me why I'm right.
Yeah, and look forward to, in the future, some new stuff in the merch store.
Oh?
Well, I had a discussion with Naomi this weekend.
Oh?
About some pee-pee shoes.
Oh, no. No.
So be excited for that crap.
No.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I'm still Sean.
And I'm still Zach.
And I'll see you next time. Speaking, everybody loves to speaking, everybody loves to speak. Well, so was it just death? That's all it was? It was just death?
Yeah. I died like 4 times.
Wow. In the same day or just like across the whole week?
Well, I mean, there was 2 in one day, and the other ones were like later on, of course.
Okay, sure. Well, that sounds trashy. In other news, I just finished eating lunch.
Oh.
And then I was eating Oreos and milk, right?
And now you're laying out in the sun.
No. So then you texted, and I was like, oh, I should finish up. So I was like finishing up, and then I stood up, and I was walking downstairs to grab my stuff. And then I burped, and like I felt milk splash up into the back of my throat. I was like, oh.
Gross.
I just really felt like I needed to share that with you.
Thank you, Sean. That was information I just needed to know today.